Everyone, we are on step 3 of the 10-step roadmap to financial freedom. We are learning how to underwrite properties right now. I just got done finishing with kind of a part 1 portion of maybe a part 2 or 2-part series. Who knows? There may be a couple more series to this because it's a very detailed part of the process and honestly one of the most important parts we got to go through. So far we've got 2, maybe coming out with more, but we'll do 2 for now. And so I just showed you the strIQ app, how you put in your filters, how you find these properties, how you underwrite these properties, which is great. But now what's really, really important is looking at the revenue that was provided and basically just spit out for you, and now going to verify those numbers. And so I'm going to show my screen. I'm going to show you how I verify and validate these numbers. So let me add this up here, pull this up. Okay, so this is a new dashboard we just came out with. Let me pull it up. Here we go. A new dashboard that strIQ just came out with. And essentially what this does is it really helps you understand your revenue potential of any property you look at, whether you're buying it or whether you're optimizing your current property. So the main example I want to give you is, say you've got a real estate agent and you're wanting to sell your house. Well, the agent is going to be looking around at all these comps and helping you understand, okay, I think we can sell your house for $1 million or 900,000 because of all these comps per square foot to drive the value of your home. Well, in the same way, we can pull up these comps around this particular property to get an estimate, projected estimate of what the projected revenue would look like because of these actual Airbnb listings that are surrounding you. So I'm going to give you a high level view of how to actually use this. And then in some of our coaching calls, we can dive into it further. I just want to kind of keep it more short and crisp for you to go through. And so what I've done is I added in that address to that property we just looked at earlier, this, the 1610 Lemon Tree Lane. On the app, it was showing it could make about 125,000 in revenue, which again is kind of in line with what I was expecting for my own house. That's a 5-bedroom, right? Close to A&M, Kyle Field right here. So now let's pull this back up. What I've done is I've added in the address here. I click search. Usually I like to have like a 5-mile radius around that comp, which here you can see that comp in blue. And then you can see the different comps surrounding it. Now, what I'm going to do is I ended up doing a 3-mile radius around it because College Station is more attractive than Bryan. So I kind of want to tighten up the comps a little bit. And then what I did is I added in the bedroom count, which was 5 bedrooms. You can also do bath count and guest count and all that stuff. But I kind of like to start high level and then zoom in a little bit more later. And then here, this is where, John Bianchi talks about this all the time and other data guys of cleaning up the data. Essentially, what we're showing here is all these Airbnb listings that are surrounding. We make sure that they have at least a minimum reviews of 20 for their listing. They have to have more than 4 stars or more for their listing, and they have to be actively available for about 275 days or more. So it's got to be a professionally managed or someone, like you guys are managing these Airbnbs full-time versus just someone that's kind of doing this part-time. That way the data is very rich and very much closer to accurate versus just someone that's kind of doing this part-time. So what this is showing me is we've got 8 comps surrounding this dot. And what this is showing is about $78,000. Move my screen out of here. $78,000 in average income, that P50 I told you all about earlier. Now, what's interesting about this is you can see this range here. And so I want to hone in on this area for you guys. Okay, so AirDNA, when they tell you a revenue projection, they will only give you like the 50th percentile of that market. I think AirDNA's numbers are showing close to like 75,000-ish. So that's honestly very, very close to what strIQ is projecting on the 50th percentile range. But this is where it gets spicy and awesome, is now if you're looking at this property, you know you're going to be better than average, and you're going to spend the capital to put in the right amenities, the right design, the hot tub, the murals, make it awesome. That's where you can say, okay, well, heck, I can actually make an extra $25,000 more than what other people. Well, heck, man, maybe if I make it even better, or it's closer to the right places, or do all these right things, then heck, maybe I can make up to 140 grand in revenue. So this is where you can see how you can actually increase your revenue from $78,000 to somewhere between 100 and 140,000. So now when we look at this and we go back to the app again was showing us, let me pull it up here, 125,000 in revenue. So now that is like perfectly in line with these upper thresholds. So just be aware of that when you look at it. So the app's going to give you a number, but you need to go verify it here to make sure you feel very confident about it. And this will increase your confidence because you're actually going to have these comps surrounding you that will give you the details and the data to say, okay, I feel really good about that number. So based on these numbers, I think, heck, I can make way more than 78,000, and I can probably make around 120,000. So that's one way to use this comps dashboard to verify the revenue that you're seeing in the app to then get back to the underwriting. So practical way you could do it, we're showing 120,000 in the app. This is showing you kind of a range between 78 to 144. Maybe you're like, you know what, let's build a conservative case just to kind of bulletproof this thing. Let's just say, you know what, 100,000 feels, more realistic in a case like this, even though you're kind of hoping and shooting for something better. Then all you need to do is just go back to the app here and pull up the property and go to analyze. And, the P50 may already be there, or the P75 might be. You can either just reduce it there, or you can just go type it in and make adjustments directly here. So there's a bunch of ways you can do it. But this is why I really wanted to dive into more of a deeper training, because there's a lot of data. There's a lot of nuances to it. I know this like the back of my hand because me and my team built this, but I know this is fresh for many of you. And so this is just, again, a high level of how to use the app and how to use the actual dashboard itself. Super powerful tools. There is a little bit of a learning curve, and so it just takes a little bit of practice. So my main encouragement to you guys is practice using this dashboard, practice using the app over and over and over, and sending to me, sending to other people in the group, sending to other people outside the group, and just even local real estate agents just saying, hey, I found this property, College Station, or in Austin, Texas, or Galveston. It says 100,000 revenue. Does that feel right? Does it sound right? And then once you do this over and over and over, you'll start to really feel way more confident about your abilities to know whether the information is accurate or not. I mean, again, it's backed by lots of data and comps to give it to you. But I mean, I remember I was in y'all's shoes. Like, it's kind of scary when you're buying your first property or even your second, or you're just making a big purchase. Like, you're like, am I sure it's going to make money? So that's why it's good to go validate and verify a lot of this data as you're exploring it and looking at it. So that is step 3 of how to underwrite properties. I may come out with a little bit more details, but I think I kind of want to keep it high level for now and just encourage you to now start playing with it and practicing yourself. And then on coaching calls or group coaching or discussions we have, that's where we can really dive into specific questions that you have. Feel free to reach out to me anytime you need help, and would love to help you. I will talk soon.